We are Lagos Talks 91.3.
Let's talk. It's 3 minutes past 11 this beautiful, fantastic, fun-filled Friday. Welcome to the Midday Show with me, Ify, here on Lagos Talks 91.3. It's that time you've been waiting for. Your favorite show on radio, The People's Perspective. And as always, my co-host that missed me so much, Seun Kuti.
Why are you lying to yourself?
Well, you missed me now.
Nobody.
If you see how Seun came to, he ran and he hugged me when he saw me.
I didn't carry you up and spin 360.
You didn't. There was no space.
There was no space in that place. It's true. That was my plan. Welcome everybody to the TPP.
What
yeah,
up, what up?
We're ready to give you some people's perspective.
Indeed.
Yeah,
So we have a few stories that we're going to be sharing today. We're going to start off with the senior advocate of Nigeria. He's also an activist, Femi Falana, who had a few things to say about the president. I'm going to be playing an audio for you so that you can get the gist of what he had to say. And then we're going to be talking about the abducted students, what's been going on with banditry up north, and, you know, Sheikh Gumi's role in all of this. So we're going to be updating you with what's going on. And there's something that El Rufai said that just blew a lot of people's minds, talking about their rescue mission that included losing some students. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to be highlighting some of the things that he said in his own words. And then we're going to touch a little bit on, the sad epidemic, I should say, that we're experiencing in Nigeria called child molestation. And also a rape. So we're going to be highlighting a few stories in recent times that have, made the news. Very, very sad, heart-wrenching stories. So let's get into it, Seun. We're going to start off with Femi Falana, who's an activist. He's a SAN, he's a lawyer. Let's take a look at what he had to say during an interview as regards the president. Why this is not playing out, I do not know.
It's the presidency.
That is doing interview. Well, sadly, guys, I do apologize. Not really sure what's going on with the audio. But what really he was saying, I'll probably just use my own words to explain it to you. He was saying a president that is not functioning should be impeached. Now, this is not the first time people have spoken about impeachment, especially as regards the president and, some members of government, but particularly the president in this instance. Now, we know that this topic of impeachment is a very cumbersome one, especially when it has to do with the number one citizen of Nigeria, and especially also when it has to do with reversing the decision of the majority of the citizens who went out to vote for the president. Now, just taking a look at the process of impeachment before we dissect this particular story. For those who do not know anything about the process of impeachment in Nigeria, here goes. The first step, so listen attentively. So the first step of impeaching a president in Nigeria, a notice of any allegation in writing alleging gross misconduct on the part of the president. Now, this notice must be signed by not less than 1/3 of the members of the National Assembly, of course, both the Senate and the House of Representatives, and it has to be presented to the Senate President. Now, gross misconduct is defined by the Constitution as, and I quote, a grave violation or breach of the provisions of this Constitution or a misconduct of such nature as amounts in the opinion of the National Assembly to gross misconduct. Now, the second step is this. The Senate President must within 7 days serve the President and each member of the National Assembly with a copy of the notice of allegation. The third step of impeaching a president is the President has a right of reply. So he or she does not have to reply, however, but they have a right to reply. And any such statement in reply to the allegation must be served on each member of the National Assembly. The fourth step, within 14 days of the presentation of the notice to the Senate President, each house of the National Assembly shall resolve by motion without any debate whether or not the allegation shall be investigated. Now, this motion needs to be passed by at least 2/3 majority of all members of each House of Assembly. Step 5, if the motion fails to reach the required majority, the process immediately stops and no further action will be taken. However, if the required majority is obtained and the motion is passed, then the Senate President will, within 7 days of the passing of the motion, request the Chief Justice of Nigeria to appoint a panel of 7 people who, in his opinion, are of unquestionable integrity to investigate the allegations. Now, the members of the panel cannot...
You mean nobody?
The panel cannot be members of any public service, legislative house, or political party. So they have to be ordinary civilians, let's put it that way. Then step 6, the panel is to report its findings within 3 months of being appointed. Now, the findings will be reported to each house of the National Assembly. During the proceedings of the panel, the president shall have a right to defend himself and shall also have the right to be defended by a legal practitioner of his or her choice. The 7th step, where the panel reports that the allegation has not been proven, there will be no further action. However, if the report is that the allegation against the president has been proven, then the National Assembly will consider the report and a resolution for the adoption of the report shall be moved. Now, the 8th step, which is the final step. No, I have to read out the final step. No, the final step is this. For the resolution to be adopted, it must be supported by not less than 2/3 majority of all the members of each house. Once adopted, the president shall stand removed from the office as from the date of the adoption of the report. So just taking it a step backwards, or rather several steps backwards. Remember, the first thing that they said was gross misconduct. Now, according to the Constitution, gross misconduct is defined by the Constitution as a grave violation or breach of the provisions of this Constitution, or a misconduct of such nature as amounts, in the opinion of the National Assembly.
Everybody is guilty now.
So I wanted to ask you this, Seun. Now, taking a look at the definition of gross misconduct by the Constitution, do you think that the president currently, based on what he has done and not done, stands under this particular category?
Let me just say something to put things in perspective. You know, the question I have for many of our elder activists that are fighting for the freedom of Nigeria precisely is, why now? That's a question I've been asking since, because many people have been reaching out to me to come meet them for meetings. They want to do a political party here, they want to do this one there, and I ask everybody, why now? Why is it now that a new generation of revolutionaries, of rebels, of activists are standing up with a new voice and new direction? Why is it that now, you people that have always had the opportunity to fix this country, but instead did nothing, why is everybody suddenly up in arms now? You know, because for me, I know many of these great activists we have in Nigeria. I've known them since I was a child. You know, even Uncle Femi was my father's lawyer. For, you know, just as soon as he left uni, I mean, that's how he made his name in Nigeria, by defending my dad. You understand? So I've known him all my life, you know. And these men are highly intelligent. I mean, you do not understand how intelligent these people are. You understand what I'm saying? Like, these people are avant-garde intellectuals. And since 1999, since after the military struggle, even Asiwaju is part of the people I'm talking about. Understanding him from the days of Nadeko. You understand? Knowing all these men, and since 1999, they have all become stupendously rich on the back of the struggle for this country. Military, fighting against the military, and then they reap the reward in the civilian dispensation. So between 1999 to 2021, these 20 years, these men know exactly what has been going on in this country. They see the imbalance in the distribution of wealth. They see the abuse, they see everything, but everybody has gone on to defend politicians in Supreme Court, become billionaires. Everybody has carried contracts. Everybody has become rich off the backs of these same people we talk about. You know, so I believe that if we are now going to come together to fight this fight again, that okay, let's not start leading the people down dark corridors that will do nothing but waste our energies. Nobody can impeach Buhari in this country. I remember when they were trying to what was his name? They couldn't recall him. What was his name? Dino Melaye.
Oh yes. Oh yes, we remember that.
Is it Buhari now want to impeach? I mean, what is all this dragging everybody in different direction? Today is Oduduwa Republic. Now is impeachment. Let's face the organizing for the struggle that we know we want to face.
Yeah.
If people know that they want to face this government politically, organize the people along political lines. Let's remove them in the ballot. If you want to face them militarily, organize the people along revolutionary lines. But don't just be dragging everybody in different directions every week, because this is what I feel is happening. They are distracting the people from the focus, which is we must organize ourselves. Without organizing ourselves, we cannot achieve anything. You understand? And also, this impeachment plan is also a way to give the people's power to the elites. Because who is going to run impeachment? Who is going to write all this letter to Senate? Who is going to cajole the senators to agree? So we want to now give our power again to the elites to run an impeachment for us, and then they're going to pick people of reputable character.
But Seun, now does this mean that the rights of the citizens and the power of the citizens just stops at the ballot? Because even when they make a decision that was a poor decision, as citizens, do you not still run this country by being able to actually recall certain, sitting senators? Exactly.
So there must be a connect now between the Nigerian people, the senators, the House of Rep, and their constituents. And by NSAS protest, you can tell that there's absolutely no connect. Because if there was connect, those areas that were going up in flames, it is the job of the senators and the assembly members that control that constituency to go there and listen to the grievances of the people.
Yes.
Whole town hall meeting. Since we have been in this country as Nigerians, how many town hall meetings has your assembly member come to hold in your neighborhood? Even people that live in Etiosa, the most expensive local government they say in Nigeria, the most expensive real estate in Africa, when they talk, or VI. How many times have their senator come to hold town hall meetings with these rich and prosperous Nigerians, talking of the poor people in the rural areas?
So do you think that this is only a function of corruption or political apathy amongst the people themselves, who do not demand these town hall meetings and who do not even know, as close as their local government chairman?
That is the thing. There is a miseducation. You understand? 40 years of apathy, of political non-participation, forced political non-participation by the military, definitely will create this kind of apathy. We cannot doubt that. It's something that could definitely happen. But what is most enlightening here is that even though we now have the chance to participate, you find a lot of people in positions of influence, you understand, saying to people, politics is not your business. I'm not political. You even hear musicians that have influence saying things like, oh, I'm not political. But let me tell you something. Saying that you are not political is a political statement. Being non-political is also political. You understand? So the thing that Nigerian people have to understand is that we're no longer under military regime. All that apathy, all that fear, you have to discard it to understand that even to the people you are able to talk to is determined by the politics of your country. Because if politicians decide that this, whatever your best friend, let me say your best friend is a Muslim, and politicians say, oh, no Muslims in this neighborhood, so your friendship has automatically been affected by politics. So we have to understand that we have to engage politics as much as we can as Nigerian people. Even if we don't like the politics our elites are playing at the moment, then let's create our own. We have the wherewithal. How many hours a week do you need to organize? You just need to give 2 hours a week to your country, 3 hours a week, 3 hours a week. The amount of time you used to watch Telemundo. 2 Telemundo shows.
Don't kill me, please.
It's true.
But Seun, under what condition can Nigeria possibly get to a point where we begin to take accountability, just like the Western world, where if there is any form of misconduct that is brought to light, you would see these political office holders themselves step down, even without the people calling for their impeachment?
When can did not step down? No.
That's one out of.
It depends on where you are holding.
That's just one out of a few. But on a normal day,
it depends.
On a normal day, we get to see that if there is any form of gross misconduct, right, in different parts of the world, you would see some of the leaders step down. Yes. So what condition does Nigeria have to get to where we are able to, take responsibility where these leaders are stepping down if there's any form of gross misconduct?
Many of the situations where people step down in Europe and America is the stigma of the situation that has made them step down. And they fight tooth and nail to hold that position. Mm-hmm. But the stigma in society is just so much that they have to step down. If you remember the case of Dominic Strauss-Kahn, the IMF leader that was caught for rape, that was charged for rape in New York. If it wasn't for the guilty verdict, he didn't want to step down. Before they now gave it to Christine Lagarde. So it is rampant. Right now, the British Prime Minister is going through serious corruption allegations because somebody who nobody knows went to renovate his flat for him. And it's all the news they're talking about in England. Everybody wants to know who paid for that flat. Imagine going to tell a Nigerian politician that. You understand? Anyway, we're a long way from that. Because in Nigeria, that is not even a problem. Somebody renovated my flat. Who cares? Andrew Yakubu is still telling us that the $10 million we found inside his house is a gift. It's a gift.
It's very interesting.
And he has the right to take gifts as NAPC chairman.
All right, if you're listening, join the conversation. We're talking about an audio where Femi Falana said that a president that is not functioning, a president that is not active, that is not performing, should be impeached. And we've been talking about the process of impeachment in Nigeria. What are your thoughts about that? And do you believe that Nigeria can ever get to a point where we take responsibility and accountability is the order of the day, where there's gross misconduct and these leaders actually step down themselves?
Let's not forget, Trump was impeached. He still didn't leave office.
Of course, he didn't leave office to the very end. So what are your thoughts about this? 0809-234-5913, 0809-222-0913. Also, you could call 01-515-0913, 01-515-1913. Lagos Talks, good morning. Who's speaking, please? Lagos Talks, good morning. Who's speaking?
Good morning, Ify. Good morning, you. Nice by yourself.
Hey, Buka, I can hear a voice. They stole my bell.
Good.
The people, Ify has come to work today now. I can't find my bell. Ify is here.
Ify, welcome back once again.
Thank you.
Hope you got a chocolate on the CPP. Yes, because we always
Is that so? No problem.
Yeah, it is our government. The mindset of the winner take it all instead of being considerate. There is this thing they say: if you cannot do whatever thing that is needed by the people, resign, and go. If you was it yesterday? Say you will retire to your, let's say, Lekki or other places. This country, everybody wants to grab the opportunity, make the money. But sometimes I wonder, all this money you're accumulating, where are you going to use it for? Who is using it? Even if your children, some people are dying. So it's for you to do the work. But for that impeachment, the power intoxication in this country is done too much. So I don't know how we'll go about it. But like Seun will say, it's gather social consciousness. We just gather up under political parties, be committed in any place you are. We'll be talking about it. Nigeria will get better now.
Thank you, Ibuka.
All right, thank you. Lagos Talks, good morning. Please turn off your radio.
Good morning.
Good morning. Who's speaking, please?
Yeah, my name is Ferdinand. Calling from
All right, Ferdinand, welcome. Join the conversation. Let's hear you.
Yeah. For me, the impeachment is necessary, but in other way around, let him manage him until he finishes in this thing. Because if impeaching, which of the government will come across to take over?
Is his vice?
If he is impeached now, they're going to swear in his vice immediately.
Consider this EPD platform. Do you think if you impeach him, the government will change for what we are today?
That's my own question too. I don't understand this impeachment.
If they see that man now, then assuming Osibanjo come across, the system is going to change the way we are seeing it today. That's my question.
Good question.
Let me consider him and manage him until the end of finish. That's my thought.
All right, thank you. Lagos Talks, good morning. Who's speaking?
Good morning.
Good morning. Who's speaking?
My name is Peter Monson from Shomolu.
All right, Peter, let's hear you quickly, please.
Yeah, I think when we begin to practice the true definition of democracy, which we were told that it is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people, At that point, you will discover that when the people elect you, and then you go there to represent the people, then when the executive, because three arms of government, executive, judiciary, and legislature. So at that point, you will not, everybody is elected by the people and they will protect the interest of the people. But what we are practicing now, what we are having, is just the people that are supposed to impeach the president. Please allow me to use this word. They behave like Arab boys. And they just that, what the Mr. President said, yes sir, yes sir. Those people cannot
so they're yes men.
When you have an election that until the president is elected, then they begin to appoint others, to put their say they are the legislators. For me, it cannot work. I am just waiting for when God will give us the government of the people, when the people are elected by the people. And then when executive is there, there will be impeachment. So it's possible. We can do that, and I believe we will do it.
Fantastic.
Tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Peter. If you want to join the conversation, remember you can send a tweet or two or more at Lagos Talks 913 using the hashtag The People's Perspective. Please ensure that you're using that hashtag so that we get to see your tweet and read it out. If you want to send a WhatsApp message, please send it to this line 0809 234 5913. I'll go over that again 0809 234 5913. This is coming from Adebayo on WhatsApp saying, good morning, Seun and Ify. On the question raised, the only way Nigeria can work effectively is when the judiciary, the executive and the legislator decides to work for the Nigerian people rather than working for the executive arm of government. This is coming from a listener saying, it seems we've normalized deceiving ourselves in this country. Impeach call. All right, so you're definitely skeptical about that one. All right, guys, let's move on to other stories. Let's take a look at the insecurity, especially going on up north. I'm talking about the banditry and the abduction of students in the Kaduna Forestry College, as well as the Greenfield Students in Kaduna. And this happened just a few days ago. Now, first of all, taking a look at the Kaduna Forestry College, thankfully, after 59 days or 56 days, very harsh days, they have been released finally. And so the chairman of the Forum of the Abducted Parents, Malam Abdullahi Usman, spoke with newsmen and he said, and I quote, yes, they've been released. And at the time he was saying this, he said that they were on their way from the forest back home, of course, to be reunited with their family. Remember that the bandits demanded 500 million naira as ransom for their release. Now, just to take this a step further, 10 of the 39 abducted students were actually earlier released by the abductors in 2 batches of 5 each. And thankfully, the rest of the students were released just a few days ago. Before we move on to the Greenfield students, Seun, they've been released. They had demanded 500 million. Now, the government hasn't come out to tell us if they've paid a ransom or not. But do you think there's a possibility that this ransom was paid for them to have just released them?
Maybe it was paid, maybe it wasn't. I mean, they were released. But it's more likely that they were paid, to get the children released.
Back home.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, about the Greenfield students, they were abducted on the 20th of April. And on the 23rd of April, we got information that 3 dead bodies were found, and they were amongst those that were abducted earlier. And then on the 26th of April, we got information that 2 more people had died, of course, instilling more fear, in the hearts and minds of the family members of these students that were sadly abducted. Now, a few days ago, the bandits actually threatened to kill the rest of the students if 100 million naira ransom, as well as some motorcycles, if it wasn't given to them, that they were going to kill the rest of the students. Now, if you recall, and if you've been listening to the midday show, I did speak a few days ago about El Rufai, the governor of Kaduna, stating vehemently that he's not going to negotiate or pay any ransom whatsoever. Now, if we take a look at, some of the things that he had said during the Goodluck Jonathan era, he did say that, and at the time, this was when the Chibok girls had been abducted. So when he was speaking with newsmen, he had said that Goodluck Jonathan, what should be done is, of course, that they should incorporate a combination of the military force as well as negotiation.
Carrot and stick approach.
That's what he did say at that time.
That's the only technique Nigerian government know.
And now, during his own, tenure as governor, he's saying he does not negotiate, he doesn't pay any ransom whatsoever. Now, that aside, taking a look at the role that Sheikh Gumi is playing, in the abduction, in the negotiation, he's become an unofficial middleman, that communicates between the government and the bandits. Now, Sheikh Gumi a few days ago during an interview stated, especially regarding these people that abducted the Greenfield students, he said that these ones are not bandits, that they are Boko Haram. That when they had sent one of their people to actually go and negotiate with them, that they started threatening the person that they sent, that if you don't take your time, we're going to abduct you as well, and they're going to demand a ransom. This is what Sheikh Gumi said, that, they're not bandits, so no, these ones are Boko Haram. Now, fast forward to, a few days later, the parents came out to actually protest.
When are we going to do a TV sitcom called Nigeria?
I believe that is probably on its way, because Nigeria has so many laughable stories. But anyways,
I don't know if it's laughable, it's just entertaining.
It's very laughable. Now back to the parents. So the parents came out, they were protesting, asking the government to do something about their children, asking the government to pay the ransom that is being demanded, the 100 million naira. Now during the protest, one of the parents, amongst the crop of parents there, said to the media that, they had gone to Sheikh Gumi's house a few days ago and they had all contributed the amount of 800,000 naira to pay to one man, is what this parent said. Now, when this information was disclosed, of course, everyone was talking about it. Of course, it was really mind-boggling, because one thing that we have been saying is, how is a man who clearly has direct access to these bandits, why is he still there, roaming around freely, where he has all this information?
Yeah, but what you want to go arrest him?
This is the question that people are asking. Now, a day after this information came to light, the forum of parents of the abducted students came out and said, no such thing happened, that it's not true. We did not gather at Sheikh Gumi's house to contribute any amount of money whatsoever, blah, blah, blah. Now, Sheikh Gumi has come back to say that after negotiating with the bandits, that they've agreed not to kill the students anymore, and that there's more negotiation going on behind the scenes privately. This is it. Now, the last thing I'm going to mention before we dissect this is some information that was released as regards El-Rufai speaking about the abductions lately. Now, when El-Rufai was talking about what their rescue plan was, he said, and I quote, 2 days after the abduction of the Afaka young people, I was assured by the Air Force and the Army that they knew where the kidnappers were with the students, and they had encircled them. We were going to attack them. We would lose a few students, but we would kill all the bandits and we would recover some of the students. That was our plan. And he had a few other things to say. But what jumped out the most to the citizens is the fact that he, as a governor, disclosed that part of our plan was, we're going to attack them. Yes, we're going to lose a few students, but then we're going to kill all the bandits. So just starting off with this information.
It's going the Russian route. I mean, in Russia, the government of Russia, under no circumstance whatsoever, the Spetsnaz is their specialist anti-terrorist, anti-abduction, anti-whatever unit. It's Russian, they call it Spetsnaz, and the Russians actually do not negotiate with terrorists for anything whatsoever. So there was this really big case where 200 children were held by some Chechen terrorists in the National Theatre of Russia in St. Petersburg, I think. Some few years, over a decade now, I think. And, the Russian government stormed the place. They killed some kids, but, they killed the terrorists and rescued some. So I think that is where he's getting his own
my question is this.
But what he doesn't understand is that he doesn't have Spetsnaz.
Okay, that's definitely clear.
And with the way the battle with Boko Haram has been raging in Nigeria, how is it sure it's the army that will kill the bandits or the bandits that will kill the army? Are we sure? I mean, so you don't have specters on that. Just calm yourself.
But in this condition, or should I say this atmosphere of insecurity and fear, especially amongst those who have been waiting for their children to get home, do you think that a governor should have disclosed such information? But in this atmosphere of sensitivity and fear, I'm not really sure that he should have come out to say such a thing.
It would be worse if you had told his parents, I'm going to rescue your children. Then they go and rescue and some die. And then they find out later that he lied to them initially to get their consent to launch that mission, knowing those children were going to die before he did.
Or maybe he shouldn't have added the part of the children there. He should have said, well, we sent our military force there to attack them.
Even if he didn't say it, the fact that he knew the consequences will be political blowback, and it might not even be now. It might be later. Maybe he wants to run for vice president or president or something. One of the people that knew that thing will just leak the story. Do you think those parents will ever forgive him, knowing that he intentionally sacrificed their children, then used deceit to gain their consent for the mission? So I think in that case, I say, if you trust me, no matter how harsh it is, transparency in government is the best.
That's too harsh. This is coming from listener saying, if you want about security operatives that escort Sheikh Gumi to the bandits' enclave. This is coming from Igbo JC saying, Ify and Seun, why are we like this? What do you mean? The governor of Enugu narrated his ordeal with security personnel that attacked a village in Nsukka when he put a call to the police commissioner about an attack, which a police boss asked him to call Abuja, and again called the commander of 82 Division in Enugu, who also asked him to call Abuja until the attackers came and carried out the attack.
I mean, there's no political will. This is what I'm saying to you. There's no political will to defend the people.
This is from Udochukwu saying, welcome back, guys. Miss you, Ify, and I searched all over Lagos, but I couldn't find you.
I found out. Yeah, I found her.
Where did you find
It took 3 weeks, but I found her.
This is coming from Ben saying, hi, Ify and Seun, our leaders are not honest. Instead of fighting and apprehending these bandits, they are negotiating. These guys have nothing to offer. El Toro is saying, Seun and Ify, I need my license. Well, I'm not really sure what we could do about this. She's complaining about FRSC. You know what? We'll take a look at your tweet after. This is from Vim saying, Seun, and if his name is Seun, not Sean.
I'm not Sean. Sean is Irish.
He said Nigerians are missing the point. Buhari is undergoing the early. Okay. This is coming from Star saying, imagine Seun's take on Sheikh Gumi. What a shame. He should also say that Buhari hasn't done anything wrong.
I can never say Buhari hasn't done anything wrong because he has. But Sheikh Gumi hasn't. No matter how sentimental people want to be about it.
In the context of our laws and our constitution.
The man hasn't done anything wrong. Yeah, you people just want to be sentimental because he's a Muslim.
All right.
That's it.
Let's move on to other stories. The very last story before we wrap up for today. I mentioned this earlier, that this thing called abuse. I'm talking child abuse. I'm talking child molestation and rape have become an epidemic. This is something that happens every now and then in Nigeria. Very recently, we did see some that were brought or pushed to the limelight. I'm talking about Baba Ijesha. We did see that there was a video where he was molesting an underage child. I didn't see that video, but people were demanding to see the video, and I don't know why people were demanding to see that video.
Well, I kind of ran into the video.
Yeah.
I ran into the video, but I didn't watch it to the end. I kind of ran into the video. I didn't.
Anyways, the Lagos State government has advised the State Police Command to charge him to court over this sexual abuse allegation against him. And so the Directorate of Public Prosecution revealed that Baba Ijesha may be sentenced to life imprisonment if found guilty in court. So this process is...
I'll say it right now. That man guilty.
He's very guilty.
That man guilty.
He's guilty. But the thing is that...
the real kind of guilty.
We have to still go through the legal process so that before the eyes of the law, he's actually officially found guilty.
Is it not crazy that people are attacking Sheikh Gumi and people are defending Baba Ijesha?
It's disgusting. It's not even funny. It's disgusting. Like, it's just... You know what? I don't want to go to that one.
I'm going to die.
Anyways, now over the weekend as well, or a few days back, we did get some information. This was about last week. We did see some information, very sad story about a young girl. Her name is Ini, who was raped, murdered, and buried by a prospective employer after luring her with the guise of granting her a job interview. This happened in Uyo. This was very, very sad, very heartbreaking, but thankfully we're hoping that justice is being served. But with these different stories, these are just two stories.
The funniest part of this story is that the next day, the governor's wife led a protest to find the killer. Your husband's job. Who is she protesting to? Is she protesting to her husband?
Her husband. Haven't we? I mean, but this is not a surprise. Haven't we seen when Aisha Buhari was speaking against her husband's, government?
The political. No, she was excusing her husband that there are people in the presidency.
I mean, yeah, somewhat excusing her husband. But if you're saying
why her son is crashing $150,000 bike.
If you're saying that the medical center at Aso Rock is in a debilitating state, what are you saying indirectly about your husband's tenure as president?
No, I said when her son crashed his $150,000 bike, his son without a job, crashed $150,000 bike. What did she do then? Who caused that one? Who was behind that? I want to know. I beg all these women.
So let's get back to this particular issue.
The problem I have with Nigeria is that it is high time we take it as national priority to start protecting African women. But it's also difficult for us in Africa as African men to protect our women.
Why?
Because of the economic situation of most Africans. For example, this girl now, the situation she found herself, none of the children of the Nigerian elite can find themselves in such a situation. Because of how weak our women are economically. It is easy for predators to prey on them. You understand? So the first action we must begin to take. That's why it's important that we begin the process of recapturing Nigeria for the benefit of the Nigerian people. Because it is only one of the strongest defenses our women can have against such predators is economic empowerment. You understand? And security. Because economic empowerment brings security into the lives of people, And it is truly a shame that many of the powerful people in this country that should protect this country also rape this country. You understand? So all these things kind of manifest themselves in the, how do I put it? In the toxicity that we see enveloping our community. We've talked about this. This is the third week now
that we're talking about
this on the show.
Because I wasn't here as well.
We've really gone in depth.
But I believe that what also needs to be done is stringent approach when addressing the case of rape, sexual molestation, and all those other issues underneath this umbrella, that when issues like this come to play, that the predator must be brought to book, no questions asked.
Ify, many people in the security operatives are supposed to enforce these laws.
Exactly.
Are all advocates of the rape culture.
Rape apologists.
That one is even is the second step. They are advocates of the rape culture. They are the one that will be telling that woman is for man. You must respect your husband.
Or asking silly questions like, why did you go there? Why did you wear that?
Exactly. If you look at the Bible, for example, or the Quran, a woman is nothing if she's not owned by a man. The only women that are protected from rape in the Bible and the Quran are women that are still in their father's house or married women. And you're in your father's house as a virgin. You understand? So many people that are also in these religions think that the woman's body is theirs for the taking. Especially single women that live in the city. You understand? That are not under any male ownership. So all these ideas in our heads, people really need to understand that so many things go to feed these people's toxicity.
Yes. So it's a contribution of them. It's a combination of things that the government needs to take a look at. Aside from ensuring that there are stringent laws in place to bring the predators to book, also awareness needs to be done. People need to understand what you term as rape, what you
who are
term
these
as
governors?
assault, what you term as sexual abuse. They need to be aware of that.
And why are these governors not ratifying the sexual abuse laws in their states that have been passed? They said only 13 states have passed the laws protecting children from child from marriage and all of that. Look at the north. In the name of Islam,
Yes.
little African children are being married to old men. For what reason? Are we Arabs? Because the Arabs say it's okay, does that mean Africans must do it? It must happen to African children. We as Africans can have laws.
It's heart-wrenching.
We can have laws to protect ourselves from the excesses of religion. That's why there is separation of church and state, of mosque and state, or whatever and state. In any country that wants to move forward, you cannot use the laws, the dogmas of your religion to begin to corrupt secular society. Nigeria is still a secular state, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
You understand? And
Yeah,
if these
definitely.
people if the Christians and the Muslims want to turn Nigeria to a religious state, then trust me, they will have to fight for that. It's not going to happen by all this mago they are doing. They will have to fight for that, because many of us don't want that. We want a secular state where people can be held liable for actions that they've taken.
Exactly.
Imagine what happened to Timi Dakolo's wife. I don't want to mention that pastor's name. His name should not be mentioned. I'm not part of his congregation that is adorning rubbish. Somebody that said that a monkey cannot climb banana tree and they were clapping for him. That just shows you the caliber of people in that church. You understand what I'm saying? So, when such people are called out, you hear
My goodness.
a whole congregation of people coming to their defense. They won't always say, let him go and fight his case in court and let's see what happens. If he's guilty, if he's innocent, we'll find out.
Yeah.
But no, they will even protect him from any kind of prosecution whatsoever. Talking about touch not my anointed.
And do my prophet no harm. All right, let's take this call. Lagos Talks. Good morning. Who's speaking? Hello. Okay, 0809-234-5913, 0809-222-0913, 01515-0913, 01515-1913. Lagos Talks. Good morning. Who's speaking?
I want to ask this question, Seun.
What?
Now, having identified that we are having some political talks that they are branded bandits, because I'm very happy that I get that today from you. Is it not possible that after we have retrieved our children, those that they have captured, then immediately we go after them, even without having signals? These people that we say they should fight them. So for me, I believe that the government and the sponsors and the organizers of all these talks that we are calling bandits today. So I think if they want to fight them, they can fight them.
All right, Lagos Talks. Good morning. Who's speaking?
I think I wonder the military bodies that we have in this country, whether are they really working? Because when you speak to some of these child abuse and everything, you begin to wonder, where are they? It seems as if that nothing is being done.
The law enforcement.
Yes. So it's as it be, and it's like the conversation on radio, television, it's time banned. I don't know. God help us in this country. I appreciate people.
All right, thank you very much. This is coming from Cyril on Twitter saying, let the law take its course and if found guilty, he should go in for it. Dambaba is saying justice for all. Let's take this call. Lagos Talks. Good morning. Who's speaking?
Good morning, Mister.
What's your name?
Yeah, first it's coming from there.
All right, let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning to the
Seun.
person in the studio.
Okay.
Yeah, to be honest, as politicians, we get a problem we are having in this country. And I can call the politicians, they are rapists. But they rape us economically and they rape us emotionally.
All right, thank you very much for your take. It's 12. We need to wrap this
Yeah,
up.
and just to add, all of you that will see girls in the markets, because they are dressed in certain clothes, they'll be harassing them.
And you'll be harassing them. You're all part of the problem
Yeah,
as well.
that is the rape culture we're talking. And you see other women applauding these boys for disgracing women for what they wear to come to the market, whatever. You understand? I remember when I was young, one time it happened to my mom. But you know, it's in Afela's wife. She came home to report. We went to Yaba Market and seized all their goods, beat everybody up.
Oh, wow.
Fellas, beat everybody there and seize all the goods and bring it back to Kalakuta. They all have to come and beg for their market. It's true.
That's very good.
So we allow it.
That's the reason why we need a stringent approach to ensure that it deters people from thinking that this is a normal way to live life. Not only that, a lot of awareness needs to take place. Let people know what rape is. Let them know what sexual assault is, because there's some people that grew up seeing these things thinking like it was normal. So a lot of awareness needs to go into play. Guys, it's time for us to say goodbye. Thank you so much to everyone who was a part of the show. Remember, TPP, The People's Perspective, comes up on Fridays from 11 a.m. to 12. Make it a date with us. Seun, always a pleasure.
Ify.
I know you miss me. I know you're happy I'm back.
I'm happy you're back. I miss you. Let me confess to the whole world.
All right, guys, reach out to me on Instagram and Twitter at Ify_I. That's IFY_I. Follow Lagos Talks at Lagos Talks 913. Coming up next is the world news coming to you live from our media studios. And at 12:30, Directions is coming your way. I'm going to be having a conversation with the very soft-spoken and brilliant Anke Shotomi. So I'm looking forward to having that conversation with her. And the dish is coming up at 1 p.m. Join the liveliest roundtable of highly influential female professionals talking about everything and anything. Thank you so much once again.
We are Lagos Talks 91.3.
Let's talk.